In a world that thrives on noise, chaos, and fleeting validation, there's a moment when everything shifts. It's not loud or dramatic. It's subtle, like the quiet click of a lock sliding into place. You realize peace doesn't come from being liked, praised, or understood. It doesn't come from the applause of strangers or the approval of friends. It comes from something deeper, something unshakable. A rootedness in your own presence so fierce that no storm, no critic, no betrayal can uproot you. That's when you become cold, calm, and untouchable. Not because you've shut down or turned cruel, but because you've mastered yourself. You've learned to stand firm in a world that rewards the loud, the impulsive, the emotionally reckless. True power, the kind that doesn't flicker with opinions or crumble under pressure, isn't found in shouting matches or emotional outbursts. It's found in silence, in stillness, in the deliberate choice to observe rather than react. To listen, more than you speak, to move with intention instead of being swept away by impulse. This is the path to becoming untouchable, and it's not a destination you stumble into. It's a discipline you forge, moment by moment, choice by choice. Picture a world that's constantly screaming for your attention. Social media feeds overflow with opinions, outrage, and carefully curated lives. People compete to be heard, to be seen, to be validated. The loudest voices get the most likes, the most shares, the most fleeting moments of glory. But what happens when the noise dies down? What happens when the crowd moves on, chasing the next shiny thing? The loud are left scrambling, desperate, to reclaim the spotlight. The impulsive are left regretting their hasty words, their rash decisions. The emotionally reactive are left drained, tangled in the chaos they invited. This is the trap of living for the world's approval. It's a house built on sand, and the tide is always coming. If you want power that lasts, power that doesn't depend on the whims of others or the shifting winds of circumstance, you have to build on something solid. You have to build on yourself. Calmness is not weakness, though the world might tell you otherwise. It's not passivity or surrender. It's control, the kind of control that starts deep within, where your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions are no longer at the mercy of external forces. It's the ability to stand in the middle of a storm and choose stillness. People will test you. Life will push you into corners, daring you to lash out, to break, to prove you're human by crumbling. Old wounds will resurface, old triggers will whisper, asking if you've really grown or if you're still the same person who used to spiral at the slightest provocation. These moments are your crucible. They're where emotional strength is, forged, not in the calm, predictable days, but in the chaos, in the heat, in the pressure. You don't become untouchable by avoiding pain. You become untouchable by learning to let it pass through you without taking you down. Imagine a stone in a riverbed, smoothed by years of rushing water. The current swirls, the waves crash, but the stone remains. That's what you're building, a presence so grounded, so steady, that the chaos of the world can't move you. This doesn't mean you're immune to feeling. It doesn't mean you don't hurt, don't love, don't care. It means you've learned to channel those emotions instead of letting them control you. You've learned to take the fire inside, the anger, the passion, the pain, and use it to fuel your growth, your work, your purpose. Being cold doesn't mean you lack warmth. It means you've stopped letting your emotions be weaponized against you. It means you've learned to protect your energy, to save it for what matters, to refuse to waste it on battles that don't serve your higher goals. The world will tempt you to react. It's relentless in its demands for your attention, your outrage, your explanations. Someone will misunderstand you and you'll feel the urge to set the record straight. Someone will disrespect you and you'll want to clap back to prove you're not someone to mess with. Someone will question your worth and you'll be tempted to list your accomplishments to justify your existence. Every time you give in to that urge, you hand over a piece of your power. You let the world dictate your state of mind. The untouchable don't play that game. They let the misunderstandings pile up, let the critics talk, let the doubters doubt. They know something the world doesn't. The lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. The lion moves with purpose, not because it's oblivious to the noise, but because it's focused on something greater. Revenge, too, takes on a new meaning when you walk this path. It's not about petty retaliation or loud displays of dominance. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is simply becoming the best version of yourself, so composed, so disciplined, so radiant in your self-mastery, that those who tried to dim your light are forced to witness your rise. They have to live with the fact that they couldn't break you, couldn't pull you down to their level, couldn't make you lose your way. That's what it means to be untouchable. Not that you're untouched by pain, but that you're untouched by control. You feel the sting, but you don't let it dictate your next move. You hear the noise, but you don't let it drown out your inner voice. You see the chaos, but you choose to walk through it with clarity. How do you get there? It starts with discipline, the kind that's forged in the quiet moments when no one's watching. Discipline is your sword, sharp and precise, cutting through the distractions and temptations that pull you off course. It's choosing to pause before you speak, to breathe before you act, to walk away when your ego screams to fight. It's training yourself to sit with discomfort, to face your pain without running from it or numbing it with distractions. Detachment is your shield, protecting you from the emotional traps that others set whether they mean to or not. It's not about shutting people out, it's about refusing to let their actions define your worth. And silence? Silence is your fortress, a sacred space where your mind can rest, reflect, and grow stronger. Every time you choose silence over a knee-jerk reaction, every time you hold your tongue instead of defending yourself, every time you let the moment pass without giving in to the urge to prove something, you fortify that fortress. You become less predictable, less penetrable, more powerful. This path isn't easy. It's not a quick fix or a feel-good mantra you can slap on a vision board. It takes work. It takes breaking down again and again until you learn to rebuild stronger. It takes loss, maybe a relationship, a friendship, a version of yourself you thought you needed. It takes betrayal, because nothing teaches you the value of self-reliance like being let down by someone you trusted. It takes long nights sitting with your pain, wrestling with questions that don't have easy answers until you finally decide that no one, not a lover, not a friend, not an enemy, will ever make you lose yourself again. It takes choosing peace over chaos, even when chaos feels more familiar. It takes choosing purpose over pleasure, even when pleasure is easier to chase. It takes choosing power over approval, even when approval feels like love. You learn to breathe through the pain, to let it wash over you without pulling you under. You master the art of not responding, not because you're weak, but because you're strategic. You observe everything, from the way people move to the patterns in your own thoughts, but you absorb only what serves you. You become the kind of person who doesn't flinch when provoked, who doesn't beg when abandoned, who doesn't fold under pressure. You become someone who can stand alone without crumbling, who can love deeply without losing themselves, who can be doubted without doubting their own worth. This is the real transformation. Not louder, not flashier, but calmer, colder, clearer. You walk like you know who you are. You speak only when it matters. And when you do, your words carry weight. You move in silence, letting your actions, your results, your life speak for you. The world doesn't need another loud voice shouting into the void. It needs someone who moves with purpose, someone who can sit in a room full of noise and remain unshaken, someone who commands respect without chasing attention. That someone is you, or it can be if you choose it. Start today. Speak less, feel more. Train your mind like a warrior trains their body, not to destroy but to defend your peace. Every boundary you set, every emotion you process in silence, every moment you choose discipline over distraction is a step deeper into your power. When the world tries to shake you, test you, provoke you, don't react. Smile. Not because you're unaffected, but because you're unbreakable. You've walked through fire and learned to use the flames to light your own path. This is your awakening. You're not just reading words, you're feeling the truth in them. Emotional strength isn't about suppressing pain, it's about transforming it. Silence isn't emptiness, it's presence. Distance isn't coldness, it's clarity. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to understand yourself so deeply that the world's chaos can't touch you. You're here to rise, not react, to lead, not chase, to become, not beg. So remember this moment, this fire, when you're alone, when you're tested, when it hurts, because that's when you'll become who you were always meant to be. Cold, calm, untouchable. The journey to this state is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a series of small, deliberate choices that compound over time. You start by noticing your triggers, the moments when your heart races, your palms sweat, your mind screams to react. Maybe it's a snide comment from a coworker, a dismissive text from someone you care about, or a memory that creeps up uninvited. In the past, those moments might have sent you spiraling, but now you pause. You breathe. You ask yourself, is this worth my energy? More often than not, the answer is no. That pause, that breath, is where your power begins. It's the first brick in the fortress of your mind. As you practice this pause, you start to see patterns. You notice how certain people thrive on pulling reactions out of you, how they feed on your emotional energy. You notice how the world rewards those who shout the loudest, even if their words are empty. You notice how your own impulses, left unchecked, can lead you down paths that feel good in the moment, but leave you empty later. This awareness is your foundation. It's not enough to know these things. You have to act on them. You have to choose silence when your ego wants to scream. You have to choose distance when your heart wants to cling. You have to choose discipline when every fiber of your being wants to give in to the chaos. Discipline is the backbone of this transformation. It's not glamorous and it's rarely celebrated. It's the quiet work of showing up for yourself, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It's setting boundaries, even when it makes people uncomfortable. It's saying no to distractions even when they're tempting. It's sitting with your pain, your doubts, your fears, and refusing to let them define you. Discipline is what separates the untouchable from the reactive. It's what turns fleeting moments of clarity into a way of life. But discipline alone isn't enough. You need detachment. Not the kind that makes you numb, but the kind that sets you free. Detachment is the ability to care deeply without being consumed, to love fiercely without losing yourself, to engage with the world without letting it dictate your worth. It's recognizing that other people's actions, opinions, and choices are about them, not you. When someone disrespects you, it's not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of their character. When someone leaves you, it's not a verdict on your worth. It's a chapter closing to make room for something new. Detachment doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop letting those feelings control your decisions. Silence is the final piece of the puzzle. Not the silence of suppression, but the silence of strength. It's the choice to hold your tongue when you could destroy someone with your words. It's the decision to walk away from a fight that won't change anything. It's the wisdom to let your actions speak louder than your voice. Silence is where you find clarity, where you reconnect with your purpose, where you rebuild your strength. It's not about being invisible. It's about being so present, so grounded that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. The untouchable don't live for the world's applause. They don't need it. They're content in their stillness, focused on their growth, aware of the games being played around them but choosing not to play small. They've learned that real strength isn't about dominating others. It's about dominating yourself. It's about knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you're willing to fight for. It's about building a life that reflects your values, not the world's expectations. This journey will test you. There will be days when you want to scream, to give in, to let the world know you're not as calm as you seem. There will be nights when the pain feels too heavy, the silence too lonely, the discipline too hard. Those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments when you choose who you're going to be. Will you react, or will you rise? Will you chase approval, or will you claim your power? Will you let the world break you, or will you become unbreakable? You already have everything you need to walk this path. The strength is in you, waiting to be claimed. The clarity is in you, waiting to be uncovered. The power is in you, waiting to be unleashed. All it takes is a choice to pause, to breathe, to choose yourself over the noise. A choice to let go of what doesn't serve you, to embrace the discomfort of growth, to trust that you're enough just as you are. Make that choice today and then make it again tomorrow and the day after that. With every step, you'll grow stronger, clearer, more untouchable. The world will keep spinning, keep shouting, keep demanding your attention. Let it. You don't need to add to the noise. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough. Your peace is enough. Your power is enough. Walk like you know it. Speak like you mean it. Live like you're unstoppable. Because you are. You're not just surviving. You're rising. You're not just existing. You're becoming. You're not just another voice in the crowd. You're a force, cold, calm, and untouchable. And the world? It's not ready for you, but you're ready for it.